So Dan, to follow up on Trump's really horrible, very bad week so far, it's not over yet.
Which, it could have been over in a day.
Yeah.
By Monday afternoon, it could have been done. But, every time there's like another step, something else happens. And then, last night there was this memo that Trump's attorney was circulating that was not a good memo that he's forwarding everybody.
Right.
And then Bannon goes on and does this interview, this bizarre interview with a liberal writer, Robert Kuttner from the American Prospect, in which he calls and he's critical of a number of people, including Trump. And then Trump gets up this morning and starts tweeting. So it's just like, this is an exercise in how long you can extend a story. But yeah, the Bannon thing was interesting to me just because, one, he spoke very openly about his wars and battles with particular individuals within agencies. It's the sort of thing that you expect to hear from an insider talking off the record. And I think he thought he was off the record. And there was a story earlier this week in which Trump was supposedly very upset because he believes Bannon is a major leaker. And that's one of the reasons he's thinking about replacing him. And it was very noteworthy during the third Trump appearance that how he referred to Bannon during the entire interview. When they were asked about him, he doesn't refer to him by his first name. He calls him Mr. Bannon.
Mr. Bannon.
Mr. Bannon came on the campaign late, had no impact on the primaries. I like him and he's a friend, but basically we'll see what happens.
It's not my Steve any longer. So, Mary, Bannon has long sort of been seen as a channel for the alt-right, but in this interview he essentially called the marchers in Charlottesville clowns, and he didn't seem to be the platform provider for the alt-right.
He did not, although then President Trump was criticized for the platform he gave to, I would say, not going beyond alt-right, to white nationalists and white supremacists this week. So they're probably feeling pretty good about their week despite Bannon's criticism
David
of
Duke
them.
has been very complimentary, the former Klan leader.
I think there's a difference in Bannon's interview. It's clear he thinks this group, the group of protesters, is an incredibly tiny group of people that should be just dismissed, and that he thinks that the media is giving them too much attention, and he clearly doesn't identify with them, even though he has said, and he said previously, that Breitbart was a platform for the alt-right. Now he's very dismissive of the alt-right. And all of this comes out when this recent book, The Devil's Bargain, comes out about the relationship between Trump and
Trump apparently hated it because it gave Bannon a lot of credit for being the force behind Trump.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like people want to separate the alt-right from Nazis, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and I think a lot of people are questioning whether there is actually a line between the two. And President Trump kind of wants to do the both sides, the alt-right and the alt-left. And
there were many good people marching there who just didn't want to take down
and
the
it's
statues.
Like, who are the white supremacists and the white nationalists on this alt-left that you're
It's interesting
with?
because Trump is like the ultimate marketer, and alt-right is an ultimate marketing thing. It's just rebranded, refashioned a white supremacy and white nationalism that you give a good name and you put that out there and everybody's a little more comfortable with it. It is interesting to hear locally about Craig talked about how some of the members of Congress have responded, and Gwen Moore calling for ousting him. There is another race going on, that's the Senate race, where none of the three Republicans thinking about or in the race to challenge Tammy Baldwin, Kevin Nicholson, Leah Vukmir, or Eric Hovde they've said nothing on this. They've been completely silent.
Not even condemning white nationalism.
Nothing. They've
no
said
response.
No response. Zero response.
Which most Republicans who have wrestled with not wanting to criticize Trump have been willing to say,
sort of the Paul Ryan position.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't name him, but you condemn.
You don't name him, but
Nazis.
you distance yourself and condemn Nazis.